Alright guys, so basically we are going to do a little review time, and this game was from the MCCU. It was round 2, board 18, and it was against David Price from Crew. So big up to the Crew Chess Club. They was down at Telford earlier this year, and I didn't actually get to play David on this occasion, but I went through the game as we do after, and I was in a winning position. Let me just put this in. There we are, we're logged in, and we're going to go through, like I said, we'll go through the games. I've got a box full of games here, all my games that I played in the league, right? So we've got all these, and why not? Hopefully it'll bring some education to beginners and just help me really as well. So let's go to a new game. I was playing black, so what we'll do is we'll reverse the board, and then we'll go home, and then we'll go infinite analysis, and it was d4. So at this stage, the year was 2017, so we're talking 7 years ago, 12th of August 2017. It was at the Holiday Inn Hotel. Lovely venue, by the way. And I know people think Holiday Inn at the cargo airport, Birmingham, they're a bit put off by the fact that it's by the crossroads, the Coventry Road, with heavy traffic, etc. But once you get inside, it's got a lovely bar seating area. The room was fantastic, massive function room, and I believe there's a travel lodge next door, and there's something else there as well, isn't it, with all the developments going on. So yeah, d4, and at the time I was playing my Chigorin and London system as white. So d4, d5, e3. So I knew what to expect. It was knight c6 here. Are we recording? Yes, we are. Yep, that's fine. Knight c6, and then c3. And I asked him about this because he was like, he wanted the solid triangle here. So is it Alt and Shift and Alt? Yeah. So he's releasing the queen here and the bishop. So that's why. Yeah. Does that take him off? Oh, sorry about this. Me and my flipping arrows. Right. Okay. Right. So they played c3. We played knight f6. So we've got continuing with our defense. And then bishop d3. Yeah. And then we had e5. So usually we've got d4, d5, c4, and I play knight c6. They might play this. I take the pawn and play e3. We go knight e5. They might take. Then we play e5 this way. Plenty of lines. Plenty of lines. c3, and then we went knight f6. Then what did they do? Bishop d3. So black is slightly better at this point, only slightly though. And then we strike down, bolster the centre there, e5, bishop b5 then. So he's moved the bishop twice now, but it is recommended. And we played bishop d7 to defend. Did he take? He did. Bishop takes c6. Now, did I take with the bishop, or I think I took with the bishop? D takes e5. So knight to e4, knight f3. and then we had g6. So I was looking at the bishop here to go here. Like so. So that's why I played g6. Knight bd2. So simple development now. And then we had knight takes d2. But this is where I progressed from my earlier years of learning the game. There's no need to take the pawn, the knight here. I could just leave it. What is an alternative? Bishop g7, continue developing, or queen to e7. So I think it's just fear, isn't it? That why so many youngsters or beginners take the pieces straight away. They're just scared, aren't they? They just sometimes think it's best just to get everything off the board, and that's not the right way to play, is it? So bishop takes d2. So I've taken the piece there, and it's just inviting them to develop. So I'm down on moves now, so they've developed an extra piece. I'm still developing another bishop, so we played bishop g7 then knight came to d4. So a good outpost for the knight there, attacking bishop, double up the pawns here. But if the knight came to d4, then did we take the, why didn't we take the pawn? Could have taken the pawn there, but we didn't. We played, oh yes we did, sorry, we did. So we took the pawn. Knight takes c6, b takes c6, queen a4, boom. So they're immediately threatening the check here. So with that in mind, we had queen d6, simply because I was protecting here, and then we've got the chance to win the pawn there, that they could defend there. So with queen e6 they played f4, so they've seen that attack the dark square bishop, whereas the bishop had to come back to bishop f6. We both castled. So at the moment black has a slight edge at this point. Rook a to b1, so they're thinking ahead with the file. Eventually towards endgame they've got control of the b file potentially. So queen to c5 then. So queen to c5. Maybe it was just, you know, like just with the pawn move here, it's going to stop the check. And then I was just in front of this section here with the queen rather than being at the back. So queen c5 the move, queen c2, rook f to e8, which was suggested as the first move. Rook a e8 either. Maybe because the rook here's got more space, so you get this one out first. Rook f to e8, king to h1. Now everyone says like, oh, that's a blatant computer move. You know, was there an alternative? b3, rook f3. So b3, rook f3, chance of doubling up potentially. So they played king h1. I think they would say just wanted some safety from the king. Rook e4. So at this point there's no danger to the rook. So we decided that I was gonna get the rook up to here and then follow up with the rook here and somehow get a crossover to here. That was the idea. So rook e4, queen d1, rook a to e8, doubling up as we suggested, rook f3. So they've got the same idea, getting these rooks lined up here. Bishop g7. Why did we come back? What's it suggesting? Queen c4. We had queen c4 to attack. We had queen c4 attack here. Come in here. But I think it came back here because I was thinking these guys were building up somehow. And this was just here covering these squares. So that was maybe an idea. So we played bishop g7. Queen f1. And then f5 supporting the rook. So we were quite solid here. We've got nice pawn chain on h, g and f file. Double pawns on the c file, not too much drama. Black is better. g3. So they're obviously thinking about pushing up c4, maybe a4. Queen c4 then. Sorry, g3. Looking at it upside down, sorry, g3. So they've just cementing in their h, g and f pawn as well. Look at how symmetrical we are here. So you couldn't write that, couldn't you? Some positions you get in chess. Kings, look where the kings are, look where the queens are. The rooks together, bishops. So with that in mind, queen c4, we then play queen c4, attacking the pawn on a2, and they have played b3. They've seen that queen takes f1. At the time, I felt if we took the queens off the board, I was in a better position with my rooks and pawn structure and with my bishop. So there wasn't much activity for the queens, but later on, does it suggest that we should have held on to them? Queen takes f1, rook b to f1. Again, that's kind of helped them develop, so it's taking a queen for the sake of it. a6. King g2, a5. Could have just played a5 to start with, Ian, but then yeah, I suppose that was an idea. Eyeing down c2. So a6, king f2, a5. Then they played a4, blocking it in, bishop f8. Just to keep an eye on this diagonal. And if this pawn was to come forward, we've got the bishop covering it and the rook from their bishop. Excellent. Rook e1. I think David was saying he wanted to have a rook covering the e file. Maybe he saw this, so there's just an added defender. Then we played c5. So at this point it's minus 1.61. But looking at without the engine, we've got more space in this area. Our pawns are more nearer the halfway. And when I say that, I mean the C and D file. The pawns there, and our rooks are controlling the main E file. So from that, we can say that in our own minds that we are better. So we played c5, rook f to f1. After we played c5. So rook f to f1. Rook to b8. So eyeing down a pawn on b3. King f3. Rook takes b3. So they'd missed this. They could have played rook b1. They missed it. So this is where I'm going. I could see the position, and I think the excitement of having a winning position got to me, and then, you know, it all went downhill from there. So rook c1, rook takes a4. I missed rook takes a4 now. And then they would have had rook f to d1. We had bishop g7. Oh, it is what it is though. So yeah, rook takes b3. Rook c1. Rook to b2. Wanted to get the attacking the bishop. Bishop back to e1. Still had the chance of taking a4 here, and then we were just solid pushing the a pawn to promote. It was just there for the taking in, and you missed it. So bishop back to d1, e1. So rook to b3. So trying to get this c pawn. So that equalised everything there. c6. So bishop e1, rook b3, rook d1, rook back to d1, c6 to defend the pawn on d5, yeah. And then bishop d2. So we're still winning. So it's gone from equal, and then we had d4 here. But c6 still the top move. c6, yeah. And then bishop d2. Rook takes a4. We still missed rook takes a4. So we played bishop g7. I was concentrating on the c3 pawn for whatever reason. I missed the obvious. Rook b1. c4. So the idea of playing c4 now was, if the rook takes here, then I'm just getting a promotion or getting a strong pawn for that. So we played c4. Black is clearly better. Rook. What did I play here? Rook ec1. I think I meant rook f. To c1. Yeah. Rook e8. So I was coming back to come here. The next move for me after that, rook e8, rook to b8 to double up. So rook takes b3. So we're thinking, yes, c takes b3, great. Rook b1 defending, rook b8 then. And then king e2, the king's getting across. So we missed the win, or a stronger position, shall we say. So rook e8, rook takes b3, c takes b3, rook b1, rook b8, king e2, b2. What was the alternatives? King f7, c5. See, I like c5 and then push for c4. So we played c2. And then, sorry about this, I'm so slow with this. King d3, rook b8, king e2, b2, king d3. So the king's just weaving its way in. c5, king c2, and then d4, which equalised. So instead of d4, you had c4. So many opportunities. So we played d4. They played c4. D takes e3. But I had d3 check. King takes d3, and then we had rook b3 check. King goes to c2, and then we had rook a3. And we could have bishop takes a5, rook takes a4. Right, so that was another line that I missed. So we played d takes e3, and then they still have bishop takes a5 here, but bishop takes e3, bishop d4, but you had rook b4 in, but you played, and this made the winning position for white then. Bishop takes d4, c takes d4, rook takes b2, so just not going too far ahead. Bishop takes d4, c takes d4, rook takes b2. I played d3 check. For some reason, I was thinking white would fall for the take the pawn, and then obviously I'd have a win. So we played d3 check. Why didn't he take? Oh, sorry. Yeah, king comes forward to c3. d2. King c3. Rook takes b2. I'm just going through this in my head. So played d3 check. King came to c3. Rook takes b2. Ah, Ian. So you messed up, but white's winning anyway. So we should have played rook c8, but who knows? So we took the pawn, we took the rook. I just had an idea that I could get the pawn promoted, but obviously we didn't. So king takes b2. d2, king c2, and then I was thinking I had enough time to get the king out the way. I could get back to here in time, but to no avail. So king takes d1, king f7, king d2, king e6, king c3, king d6, king d4, king c6, c5, king b7, king d5, king c7, c6 check. No. King to c. Hang on, b5. c5, sorry. King b7. King to d5. King to c7. c6. Maybe I played, hang on, maybe I played d7. No, because I've written it down wrong. Hang on, king c7, c6 because I played a h5, king d5, c6. Maybe I played h5 now, then they played this. Then you played king c8, and then I resigned here. So yeah. So going back, we have plenty of opportunity. Rook takes a4. Here, I'll move 31. So rook takes a4. h3. Rook to e4 again. Rook f2. What about here? Why is that a bad move? Oh, hold on. So rook f2. What about rook takes? King takes f2. a4. Rook d1. a3. Bishop d2. Rook a4. So we missed the win. But yeah, that was David Price and myself, 12th of August 2017 at the MCCU at the Holiday Inn Cargo Airport. And there were 5 rounds for that. So that was a win for David Price. It was my second round. And I'd lost to Julian Hodgson as well. So just looking through. This one is a famous game. This is David Short, Nigel Short's dad, Grandmaster Nigel Short. So shouts out to you. This is his dad at Lichfield. This was back in 2012. And again, another game where I was in a winning position and we lost. So we'll go through that one next. Alright guys, so yeah, that was an analysis. We will continue this. We'll do 2-3 a day. Get them all uploaded so you can have a look and watch the games and have as much fun as I did playing them and going through them after. Alright guys, come on down.